Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. Fred, you were discussing before the break mulching. You said you didn't really like to have a lot of mulch, or any, for that matter, around your roses. But what about the normal garden plants?
Normal garden plants are a completely different story. Now, there are still a few plants that I treat, I'll call it rose-like. And one of those is, as a category, hosta. I don't like to mulch under hosta. It allows the little slugs to hide come early morning. At this point, probably 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. They withdraw from the plant they've chewed on all night. They hide under the mulch in little crevices that I can't get a pesticide to. Then they come out the next night and do their evil tricks again. So I like to keep the soil under hostas bare.
And, as I always tell my wife, if there are a few holes in the hosta plants, I say, well, slugs have to eat too.
That's right. There is a truth in that. I've got a few, though, that have gotten away from me, and they're going to eat the wrong thing here shortly.
Oh, yeah.
But hostas are, again, what I call a bare earth plant. Now, let's go to then the lilacs, the forsythia, the small trees of any and all kinds, the big trees in any and all kinds. By and large, we're into that hot, dry period, have been now for a short time, and it's okay, matter of fact, preferred if you did mulch roughly that mid-May period. Anytime thereafter, and now, most assuredly, because we're into heat, the soil can dry out. The top 2 inches can dry in the course of one hot day with a good breeze. Not damaging to that point, but then the next day it dries down another 1/4 of an inch, and then another 1/4, and all of a sudden we've got plants that are only, their roots are by and large from 1 inch below the surface down to 10 inches below the surface, and pretty soon they're getting darn good and dry. So mulch then is only our use of originally byproducts, to create what Mother Nature's been doing for the last few million years. The debris falls from trees, the limbs fall, the trunks fall, everything biodegrades. And if you walk through any woods in Ohio that has not been disturbed recently, you'll find 1 to 3, 4, on occasion, 5 inches of debris, be it twigs and leaves and various other things, stacked up on top of the soil. Now, in the case of Mother Nature, it comes down little bits and pieces, so it's loose and very, very porous. So I would recommend a loose and porous mulch. I don't care what it is, really. Few tips in a minute. But still, in our case, though, around a home, I don't like to ever see more than 2 inches, 2.5 perhaps, of any kind of mulch at any point in time. Mm-hmm. Now, this is year-round. And once you start mulching, you really should continue because it's good year-round. But when it comes to refreshing, let's just say you have been mulching for years, and last year's biodegradation of the various products you've used, drop that from 2 inches down to 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Go through with a steel-tined rake, and don't dig into the roots below. Just scruff up the mulch a little bit, fluff it up, if you will. Don't even have to work at it hard, most especially just the surface. If that does not then come back to a measurement of 2 inches, you take your choice of color, kind, and so on, put it back over the top, a thin coat usually, bring it back to 2 inches. You have emulated the floor of the woods. You have put a barrier there through which rain can enter, oxygen and or CO2 can leave the soil, and roots can thrive. They're kept moist and cooler at least, by virtue of mulch. I'm just checking now, 6 months from now and or 6 months past. Colder than we would ever like it to be again. The cold can't be stopped, but the depth of penetration and the course of events in terms of how fast can be controlled by a mulch. So mulch works in the wintertime, but right now it works as a matter of helping plants stay cool in the root zone. And I have stated this, I don't know how many times, but nothing happens right above ground until the roots are in good condition. Mm-hmm. And that's a simple, basic fact as far as I'm concerned. And nobody sees the roots. Those that have not studied the soils and studied plants and their roots, it's what happens above the ground. Well, let's think below by getting a mulch down. Now, I like to suggest that on almost all occasions where you're using mulch, stay back 2-3 inches and or more if you wish, but don't put mulch against the woody upper parts of a stem. I don't care if it's a lilac, a forsythia, a great big old maple tree, or your favorite 4-inch diameter flowering crab. I don't like to keep that root zone right at what's called the buttress flare. Instead of going into the ground like a post well, that's bad when you see that. But instead of going into the ground like a post, trees' roots flare out right within 1 to 3, 4 inches above the ground. You like to keep that area barren of mulch. Then from there out to as much as the full width of the canopy of the tree or shrub is fine to mulch. And if you want to really do a good job for a mulching process, go out 3, 4, 5, even 10 feet beyond the canopy of leaves on a plant, because the roots are extending out that far and you can cater to all of them. Now that's asking for quite a bit. As a matter of fact, that's asking for a whole lot of bare front yards.
Yeah.
If you have several trees, that we don't want. But mulching, as a matter then of insulation, wood of any tree breaks down faster than the mulch of that same tree. Cypress is a bit of a threat because people did not understand how to use it. Cypress is so slow to break down, they kept adding 2 inches, adding 2 inches, adding 2 inches. Well, it would not biodegrade,
right?
Which is part of why you buy it, but it was used wrong. So let's just say that cypress is still good when used properly. Now we come to other barky materials. I prefer bark. I love pine bark. Big nuggets the size of my fist, clear down to what's called the fines. And then after mulch, breaks down, I like to mix it in with organic matter, other compost and so on, because it's a fantastic starter for roots of new things. But get down that 2 inches. Wood, then being the shredded parts, be it pallets from other uses in this world. Whatever it may be, they'll break down fast. There is nothing in the world wrong with that, but they break down so fast that the bacteria that are breaking them down, needing oxygen, needing nutrients, very much the same as our plants do, can rob the nitrogen from the soil. So give the area a little bit of extra fertilizer. And that's all you have to do. And you can then use any mulch you want, but 2 inches, and keep it, let's just say, in a good nutrient situation.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Hauer and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
We've had a lot of questions about how we started the Dollar Saving Divas and why we do this.
I know. Well, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Leslie.
And we are the Dollar Saving Divas, but we do more than just
dollar saving tips. But we started talking about this. It was
15 years ago when we used to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember we started it because we both like the same kind of food.
Yeah.
So we would go in search of
it was lunch every day.
Lunch every day.
Let's find the best chili.
Let's find the best crab cake. Remember, we would just go place to place,
and we would compare, and it was just our fun little lunch break every day.
It was a joke that we said, we ought to do this sometime for like a radio show
and we both had young kids, and so we were trying to find ways to even cut costs and still provide all those things that you want to provide for your family, and live within your budget.
And I used to do a lot of events and marketing, so we've done everything from tricks and tips on, party planning and how to decorate a table to different foods. I mean, we've traveled around the community to lots of different
we
cities.
discovered some things in the community that, we didn't know were there. We thought, well, gosh, other people should know.
Exactly. Shopping, great shopping places. We even took a vacation to Naples, Florida, which I think we should do more of that traveling.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually.
Yeah, we should do more
I
of
think
that.
some international would be good.
But I think it's a lot of our life experiences. It's a lot of life
experiences. We're not going to say how many combined, but
sharing that with other people.
Yeah, I don't want to say we could, together it would be like.
No, we're not going to say that.
I'm not even going to go there. I think it's really funny when we're now actually going and looking for sponsors. I mean, people are actually following us, and they're,
I know.
It's amazing. It's like
people do want to hear what we have to say.
And actually, I've heard some people even take notes. They have to replay it because, I want to know where that really good happy hour is, and
well, everybody wants to know where a really good happy hour is.
And we're really good because we know where all the good happy hours are. Just ask us any place you live.
All those years of work, you need to know a good lunch spot and a good happy hour spot,
and never the two shall meet because you shouldn't be drinking at lunch. But it's just been really fun, and I think we're really expanding the things we're doing, which is I never thought that people would actually listen to us.
Well, I think that's the fun part is we are doing what's fun to us.
Exactly. So it's not like it's work.
Right. We're just having a good time and talking about it.
And maybe we shouldn't be talking about some of the good times that we have.
Right. Probably a little censorship would be good.
Well, I think we go bleep, bleep in between things.
That's why these podcasts are really 20 minutes, but we edit them down to 8.
Yes, because
there's so many things that should go in there.
Yes, bleep, bleep. It's like that. What is it? What do they do on the on TV? It's like the lag time or the...
Yeah, exactly. We have to have a 10-second delay.
That's it, a 10-second delay. But we've really had fun, and so I hope people continue to listen to us.
Yeah.
And if people have things that they thought would make a good podcast, they really ought to, contact us.
Let us know, because we're always open to new adventures.
Yeah, particularly do they include travel, food, and
alcohol? And we're down.
We're good to go.
Circle270media.com